In this video, we're going to talk about how to make a relative frequency distribution table. So first, let's write down a few numbers in our data set. So let's say we have the numbers 2, 5, 3, 4, 7, 2, 5, 8, 3, 2, 2, and then let's say 3, 2, 5, 5, 4, 8, 5, 2, 8. So with these numbers, what can we do in order to make a relative frequency table? First, we need to make a frequency table. So I'm going to write V for value, F for frequency, and then another column for RF, or relative frequency. So let's start with the lowest value. The lowest value is 2. Now our next step is to count how many 2's we have in our data set. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So the frequency for this number is 6. Now let's move on to our next value. The next highest value is a 3. And we have 1, 2, 3 3's. So the frequency is 3 for that number. Next is a 4. And there's only 2 4's in this example. The next highest number is a 5. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 5's. I don't see any 6's, so we're going to go to 7. I only see 1 7. And finally, the highest value is going to be 8. And so there's 1, 2, 3 8's. Our next step is to take the sum of the frequency column. 6 plus 3 is 9, plus 2, that's 11, plus 5 is 16, plus 1 is 17, and then plus 3 is 20. Now to calculate the relative frequency, take the frequency and divide it by the total frequency. So 6 divided by 20. If you type this in your calculator, you should get 0.30. Next, let's take 3 and divide it by 20. 3 divided by 20 is 0.15. And then we're going to follow the pattern. So now let's divide 2 by 20. So this is going to give us 0.1, which is the same as 0.10. And then we're going to have 5 divided by 20. And so that's 0.25. And then it's 1 divided by 20, which is 0.05. And here we have a 3 again. So we know 3 divided by 20 is 0.15. So that's how we can obtain the relative frequency for each of the values here. So the relative frequency for, let's say, a value of 4 would be 0.10. The relative frequency for, let's say, 8 is 0.15. Now here's how you can test to make sure that you did it correctly. Add up all the values of the relative frequency and you should get 1.0. So if you take 0.3 and add it to 0.15 plus 0.10 plus 0.25 plus 0.05 and then plus 0.15 again, you should get exactly 1. So that's basically it. Now you know how to make a relative frequency table. So first you need to list out the values and the corresponding frequencies, and then you can calculate the relative frequency by taking the frequency and dividing it by the total frequency. And as you can see, it's not that difficult. Now, if you haven't done so already, feel free to subscribe to this channel. And whatever you do, don't forget to click on that notification bell. In addition, check out my next video on cumulative relative frequency, because it builds on what we've just considered. You can find that video in my statistics playlist, or just type in cumulative relative frequency in YouTube, and then after that type in organic chemistry tutor. Thanks again for watching.